Welcome to Trending Update USA. This is Stefan, and today we're bringing you a developing story that's sending shockwaves through the tennis world as one of the sport's brightest stars finds herself at the center of controversy once again. Coco Gauff, the reigning fan favorite and Grand Slam champion, is now facing potential disciplinary action after an emotional racket smash during a tense match that has sparked debate across social media, among analysts, and inside tennis governing circles. What began as a fiercely contested battle quickly turned into one of the most talked about moments of the tournament. Gauff, known for her composure and maturity far beyond her years, showed a rare flash of frustration after dropping a crucial point in the second set. The missed return, which clipped the net and sailed just wide, proved to be the breaking point. In a split second, Coco slammed her racket forcefully against the court, sending pieces of graphite scattering across the hard surface as the crowd gasped in shock. The chair umpire immediately issued a code violation for racket abuse, and while the match continued, the incident was far from over. Under WTA regulations, equipment abuse can result in fines, point penalties, or even harsher consequences if deemed excessive. Now tournament officials are reportedly reviewing the footage to determine whether further punishment is warranted beyond the on-court warning. For many fans, the image of Gauff losing her cool was jarring. This is the same young woman who has been praised for her poise in the face of pressure, who has spoken openly about mental strength, and who often serves as a role model for younger players watching around the world. Seeing her succumb to frustration reminded everyone that even champions are human. But it also reignited the long-running conversation about emotional expression in professional tennis. Some supporters rushed to Coco's defense, arguing that the pressure at the elite level is unimaginable and that a single moment of anger shouldn't overshadow years of professionalism. Others were less forgiving, pointing out that players are expected to uphold certain standards of behavior, especially those who carry the sport's biggest spotlight. Former players weighed in almost instantly. One retired Grand Slam winner commented that frustration is part of competition but warned that repeated emotional outbursts can become a slippery slope if not controlled. Another analyst noted that many legends of the game, from Serena Williams to Novak Djokovic, had similar moments early in their careers before learning to channel their emotions more constructively. What makes this moment particularly significant is where Gauff is in her career right now. After her breakthrough Grand Slam triumph and consistent deep runs at major tournaments, Coco has firmly established herself among the elite. With expectations sky high, every action she takes is magnified. A racket smash from a lower-ranked player might barely make headlines, but when it comes from one of the faces of women's tennis, it becomes global news within minutes. Insiders close to the WTA say fines for racket abuse can range from a few $1,000s to significantly higher amounts depending on severity and past behavior. While Gauff doesn't have a long history of disciplinary issues, officials will still consider the visual impact of the smash and whether it endangered anyone nearby. Beyond the potential fine, there's a deeper question about how athletes handle mounting pressure. Gauff has spoken candidly in interviews about the mental toll of constant expectations, media scrutiny, and the challenge of staying motivated when every opponent treats matches against her like a final. In recent weeks, she's faced tough losses, grueling three-set battles, and a constant narrative of being the next dominant force in women's tennis. Some sports psychologists have pointed out that emotional releases like racket smashing often happen when athletes feel a loss of control. It's a momentary explosion of built-up tension rather than pure anger. For Coco, who is still incredibly young in tennis terms, learning to navigate those emotional storms is part of the journey. The crowd reaction during the incident was mixed. Some fans booed softly, clearly disappointed by the outburst, while others applauded in encouragement as she picked up the broken pieces and prepared for the next point. That support seemed to steady her, and she went on to fight fiercely for the remainder of the match, showcasing the resilience that has defined much of her career. Even though she ultimately pushed her opponent to the limit, the racket smash remained the dominant talking point after the final ball was struck. Press conferences quickly turned from match tactics to emotional control, with reporters pressing Coco on what triggered the moment. Gauff, visibly reflective, admitted she let frustration get the better of her. She explained that she had been battling nerves and disappointment over missed opportunities, and in that instant, everything boiled over. She took responsibility, acknowledging that it wasn't the example she wanted to set and promising to learn from it. Her honesty earned praise from many fans, who appreciated her accountability rather than deflecting blame. Still, others argued that apologies don't erase the need for consequences if the sport wants to maintain professionalism. This incident also reopened discussions about how tennis treats emotional expression compared to other sports. In football or basketball, emotional outbursts are often seen as passion. In tennis, with its quieter atmosphere and stricter codes of conduct, similar behavior can be heavily penalized. Some commentators believe tennis needs to evolve and allow players more emotional freedom, while traditionalists insist that maintaining decorum is part of what makes the sport unique. Coco's moment has now become the latest example fueling that debate. Sponsors and brand partners are also paying attention. Gauff is one of the most marketable athletes in the world, with endorsements built on her positive image, confidence, and leadership. While one emotional slip is unlikely to harm her reputation long-term, repeated incidents could shift public perception. Marketing experts suggest that authenticity, including showing vulnerability, can actually strengthen a player's connection with fans, as long as it doesn't cross into unsportsmanlike behavior. In Coco's case, many see this as a human moment rather than a character flaw. As tournament officials deliberate on potential fines, the focus now shifts to how Gauff responds moving forward. Will this serve as a turning point where she develops even stronger emotional control? Or could the growing pressure of expectations lead to more visible frustration on court? History shows that many of the game's greatest champions faced similar challenges early on. Learning to harness emotion rather than suppress it often becomes the key to long-term dominance. For Coco, this moment could ultimately become part of her growth into an even more formidable competitor. Fans across the world are watching closely. Some are standing firmly behind her, praising her resilience and maturity in addressing the incident. Others are calling for stricter enforcement of rules regardless of star power. The conversation continues to trend across platforms, proving once again how much attention Gauff commands in the tennis universe. One thing is certain: Coco Gauff remains one of the most compelling figures in sports today. Whether she's lifting trophies, battling through tough matches, or navigating moments of vulnerability, her journey continues to captivate millions. As the tennis season rolls on, this episode will likely be remembered not just as a racket smash, but as a snapshot of the immense pressure young champions face in the spotlight. How Coco channels that pressure could shape the next chapter of her already remarkable career. For now, all eyes remain on tournament officials and their final decision regarding any financial penalty. Regardless of the outcome, Gauff has made it clear she's determined to learn, improve, and come back stronger, a mindset that has already carried her to the top of the sport. And as fans, analysts, and fellow players reflect on the incident, one message stands out above all else: greatness isn't about never falling, it's about how you rise after moments of struggle. This is Stefan for Trending Update USA, bringing you the stories that shape the sports world in real time.